Welcome back to Two Pentecostals and a Microphone. This is just an introduction to episode 0. I hope you enjoy this episode. Stay tuned for more on Two Pentecostals and a Microphone.
We are back.
Yes, we are.
After a, 7-month hiatus?
Yeah.
I guess you'll call it.
But a much needed hiatus, if you will. We had some life changes.
Yeah, we really kind of hit the reset button on everything.
Pretty much, yeah.
So first of all, you have a new job.
Yeah, I no longer have a crazy life schedule. I took a day job. Much better job. So
literally a day job because you were working night shift for a long time.
Yeah, I was on nights for 15 years, and I would say my craziness schedule started about 4 years ago when I took on teaching at the school. But,
right.
So I did that for 4 years, and I felt like God was leading me in a new direction, and He really opened a door here, and I was able to step into a much better job and much better life experience, if you will.
You have more of a balance now, right?
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
So Bryce was on nights for 15 years.
15 years.
The last few years you've been teaching at the school, right? Our Christian school.
Yeah.
And then you were also going back to college to finish your degree, right?
Right.
Pretty much full-time? On top of everything, or was that...
No, I certainly didn't do full-time college.
Okay.
I'm a career student because I've been doing it for 10 years.
Yeah.
But
I keep saying that even though I'm not actually taking any courses, but
yeah.
Since I haven't finished, I guess I'll go with that.
But I would just take a class here and there because obviously I still need to sleep.
Right.
I haven't evolved that much yet.
Well,
I don't need sleep. Start taking the limitless pill or whatever.
Yeah, I would consider it. I have to admit.
Yeah,
because it does seem like sleep is kind of a waste of time. But.
Right. Well, that conversation went totally different than we originally planned, but we don't condone taking any drugs.
No, please don't. Just get sleep. Caffeine. We're good with that.
Yeah.
I do drink more coffee than I probably should, but
yeah.
But that's in lieu of energy drinks. So I pretty much quit that. Every now and then I'll have one, but it's once a week proposition, if that.
Sure.
But I feel like coffee, as far as vices go, that's not such a bad one.
So yeah, just to kind of help you listeners understand what it was like. It was work all night, and it wasn't like an 8-hour thing. It was like 10 plus hours a night throughout the night working, sleep a few hours, wake up, go teach class. But once I wake up, I'm up 24 hours. Right. But I was up a long time. Then once or twice a week go to class because I for college, and then also try to do this podcast and be involved in the things I am involved at church, and try to have some kind of social life in between, and try to spend time with my wife in between that. As creative as I got, it never really worked out really well.
Yeah, it's hard, no matter how you crunch those numbers, it's still...
So,
hours in a day, unfortunately.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we had to kind of took a hiatus from the podcast.
It got to be a lot. It was, it takes time, of course, to record, but then after the part that nobody thinks about, probably unless you've done a podcast, is all the editing, and then it's a lot. It's a lot.
It is. Yeah,
updating the website, promoting it on social media. There's a lot of moving parts, and
right. And Jareth and I are doing that ourselves. We're not paying anyone else to do that. And
Right.
so it made it even, a little bit more difficult on us.
Yeah, it is.
But we both enjoy doing this, and we want
I love it.
Yeah, I do too. And so my new job has freed me up tremendously, and we're able to find time to finally make this happen for season 2.
Season 2, absolutely.
Yeah. Your life's changed too.
Yeah,
as well.
my life's changed.
Yeah.
I was in a job for a long time where I traveled quite a bit, and sometimes it'd be difficult for us to find time to even record because I'd be out of town for a week or more at a time. Sometimes, not often for a week at a time, but a lot of times, my average day was probably 13 or 14 hours, with some being much longer than that, unfortunately. And then sometimes I would travel, like 7 days in a row. I'd be out of town, or
right.
so it just makes it difficult. And then when you travel a lot and work a lot of long hours, you're just exhausted. And it's finding the balance with family time and ministry stuff. And you're playing guitar on Sundays at what 2 services?
2 services.
2 services, I guess.
It seems like all day.
Sunday. Well, with practice and everything too, it is all day basically.
Yeah, pretty much, because the first service is like 30 to 40 minutes away from where we live at.
Yeah, so, you got an hour and a half of driving time.
Yeah, and so it's I pretty much go from that church service to practice of the next church service.
Right.
But so my Sunday is extremely busy.
Yeah. And I've found the same thing. I'm not as busy as yours probably, but I do, a lot of times teaching at our Bible hour, or sometimes our AM Bible hour. And up until, like sometime last year, or was it earlier this year? I think it was earlier this year. Our detention center closed in our county.
Yeah.
But before that, I was teaching there a lot of times on Sundays as well. So your Sundays you can't really fit the podcast, even though we do kind of consider it a ministry in a way, but it's not something we can really fit in on the weekends,
right?
Even because the weekends are booked already. So it's been a challenge.
Yeah.
But now I've moved into a job where I'm not traveling, and I'm working more normal hours. I'm in a full-time sales position at the same company. Which I'm glad for that. My wife works with us. The owners are good friends of mine for a long time. So I'm glad to still be there. But now I'm in this new role where I am in a commission sales job. So I basically set my own hours, which is amazing. On the flip side, if you don't work, you don't eat.
Right.
Which is, that's perfectly fine and fair. So I'm trying to find this balance where...
Sure.
Figuring out how to make it work, where I do have more free time, but where I'm, also feeding the family. So, I love it though, because now I am free to do things like this. And, if I want to take off 2 hours in the middle of a work day and do something like this, I could.
Right.
I just have to pick it up somewhere else.
Yeah.
But, it's a big change, and it's not really the free time that's allowed me to be here to do this podcast, but the time that's freed up in my new job has just allowed me to kind of breathe a little. And now I'm not coming into our recording time exhausted, and I'm not trying to fit in our promotion schedule and things on a weekend or a late evening, and it's just a little more normal.
Right.
And I feel like a human again. I'm sure you probably do for the first time in a long time.
A very long time. It got because I'd done it for so long. When I first started the new job, I felt like I was cheating.
Right.
I should be at work right now.
What am I doing?
Yeah. And I'm just what do I do? But
right.
I'm getting used to it now. So I very much enjoy my time home. And
yeah.
I had to quit the school teaching,
right.
Which I hated to do, but, it was necessary for this to happen. But thankfully, they were all understanding, and, it was no hard feelings, and so
That's awesome.
it was good. But yeah,
Well, and it's allowed you to be more involved and maybe more present. When you're with music department, because you're basically like what the band director, I guess, at the Tabernacle, and then at Westport Church, you're doing the worship. So, and playing what, guitar and mandolin and ukulele, whatever. And practice. You got Saturday practices now too. Which is great. I mean, the band sounds amazing. Yeah, it really does. It shows that
we definitely have a lot of talent in our church, and I think what's happening right now in our church, it's just, I think now is the time. Mm-hmm. It's like this was the moment. Everything, it all aligned in place, because getting this new job and then becoming more involved with the music program at the Tabernacle. Perfect. It was just like
there's seasons in our lives where things change and different for a reason, right? And I feel like that's probably exactly what's happened. Yeah.
And I mean, it's incredible. I think apart from the talent, it's the anointing, mm-hmm. and God is definitely moving in our services. I mean,
oh yeah, absolutely.
If it was just talent alone, it wouldn't be nowhere near what it's like now. Right. I mean, it's definitely a God thing. What's happening?
It is.
I'm not trying to discredit all of our hard work or anything.
Right. But but there is. Yeah. Having said that, there is a lot of talent, right, and a lot of hard work. Yeah. Right. So, and I feel like if you're missing one of those things, you're probably, it's going to be a subpar experience. But sure, we have. I mean, our music department is impressing me more and more, and we've added the saxophone. Yeah, which is awesome. We've added. I never thought I would say that, honestly, just because nothing against the saxophone, but my only point of reference really is like Kenny G, and that's what I envision. But the saxophone adds a lot. Yeah. And it's not just that, but also the percussion. Yeah, has added a lot. Djembe, and
we got some various percussion. Yeah. We got we got 2 keyboards now, right, and an organ. And so, I mean, usually 3 guitar players, and it just sounds full. Right. We were going from playing tracks to actually now we're really doing it ourselves.
Playing everything.
Yeah. Yeah. And it sounds really good.
And it does. Yeah. It does. It just sounds natural. Yeah. And full, like you said. So yeah, I'm excited about that. And I don't know, is this official? I don't know if this isn't official and we need to cut it out, we can, but okay. Ministry license, are you still planning on January? I'm not. I'm gonna have to talk to Pastor Erwin about that. Yeah. Because I don't think it's gonna happen.
I still have some things to finish up.
I have quite a bit. I have a lot, actually. I am working on it.
I guess it depends. I guess it depends. I don't know the date exactly. Right. So if it's like end of January, I think I can get it done.
You think so? Yeah. I'm on the fence. I don't know if I can or not.
But I don't know. It's one of those things where I had a lot of life changes recently.
Right. Yeah, me too.
And
well, it's been an adjustment. Like I don't know about you, but for me, right, it's a lot. My work-life balance is way better now. Yeah. And I feel like I'm in a good place, but it took a while to adjust to it. Like I had to put in a lot of time and energy. I worked a lot of late nights and evenings and weekends, mm-hmm. just to kind of make that adjustment and get in the groove of the new thing. Sure. So now I feel like I'm better off, but a lot of time was spent there doing a lot of extra work stuff just to kind of front load it. Right. And especially with sales, so you got to kind of front load your sales process. So you have stuff in the funnel and all that, but yeah. I've got a lot of stuff left to do. The requirements are actually, because I'm going from a local license to a general. Right. And there are there's just a lot of reading. Yeah. A lot of hours of videos, and you got to take a evaluation or assessment at the end of each whatever you call it,
modules.
Module. Yep. So yeah, it's a process. I'm working on it, so I'm not sure exactly when it's going to happen, but
Right.
I'm in the middle of it.
Yeah, I can't say yay or nay just yet.
Right.
So, I mean, it's not. It's something that I've prayed about for a long time, and I felt there seemed to be, when Pastor Airwood asked me to be ready by January, there seemed to be an urgency
Right.
in it, and I was wondering what that was about. And so it's like I feel like I really need to just push through with it. And
I know.
Get it done. But,
yeah. I'm in the same boat, but it's like I don't know if I can realistically do it.
Right.
I don't know. And I've said this before. I think honestly, I probably have ADD or something. I don't know. But if I can't sit down and do one thing for a long time, and
Yeah.
I get sidetracked easily.
Sure.
That's why I'm reading 10 books at a time, and one of those is Brother Stan Gleason's book, which is absolutely incredible, top notch. I love it so far. I'm actually probably half done with it. So it just tells you how early in the process I am. But Follow to Lead. I would love to get him on the podcast and
that'd be great.
But I'm very much impressed, and I wasn't sure.
Sure.
I've heard him preach at conferences and things, but the Carlton Coon episode, which is episode 1. Technically, this is 0. So episode 1 of the new season. I wasn't sure what to expect. But then when we actually get to talking to him, I'm like, I'd never actually talked to him before, but I was really impressed. Yeah. And I think sometimes you get an idea about what you think somebody's going to be like just because of their position or something. And I think I probably had that in the back of my mind, honestly, going into reading this Stan Gleason book. And it is absolutely way beyond what I expected. So, awesome. In a good way. In a good way.
Yeah.
So.
That's cool.
So, a lot of exciting changes on every front, pretty much. But we are back. And I couldn't be more excited.
Me too. I'm super excited about this. I've been thinking about it for a long time, and I've been thinking about how I was going to ask you to get going again. But we kind of got approached by...
Oh, yeah, we did. This is exciting, too.
So, it kind of happened organically, I suppose. And...
we were both thinking about it. Kind of started to talk about it a little bit.
Right.
And we were approached by Brother Kevin Mullen, who is our men's ministry director at our church.
Yeah.
And asked us to do our first ever live recording during one of our men's classes at the Tabernacle.
Right.
We haven't worked out the details on that yet.
No.
I know it's going to be happening. I don't know if we'll actually stream it live and then archive it like an episode.
Yeah.
Or if we'll just record it in front of a live audience and then upload it later. But we still have to work some details out. But either way, it's going to be a new experience for us.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be exciting.
I think so too. And, as we're on the subject of episodes, I think, like we said earlier, the Carlton Coon episode is going to be released at the same time this is. So
hopefully you're listening to that here in just a few minutes.
Right. And so we have all that to look for. We recorded some episodes from, beginning of last summer, I think. Yeah. And so we have a few that kind of release to kind of get season 2 going. And then we've kind of, I don't know, we haven't really discussed this, so I guess we'll do it right now. But
hey, bring it on.
Yeah. But I gave you a list of topics a while back, so I think
we did talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's been a while.
Right. I think we do have some great content coming for season 2, and
I feel like we do.
I'm very much looking forward to it, and the live episode, which will probably be about April-ish.
Yeah, around April, and it's going to be. I'm not sure what the format will be, but I know it'll be more than two Pentecostals on a microphone. Yeah, because we will have an extra mic,
a plethora of Pentecostals.
Yeah.
And more than one microphone.
Yeah, so we're probably going to have to make some adjustments to the way we do things from a technical perspective, but also we'll have. I'd like to involve the audience. Sure. So we'll probably have an extra mic so they can either ask questions or get involved in the discussion somehow. We haven't ironed it out yet, but
yeah,
I'm looking forward to that one.
we got plenty of time to work it out. So definitely. And I'm looking forward to that. I hope you guys are looking forward to that too. So
yeah, it should be exciting.
Yeah.
I mean, if nothing else, it's basically going to be live. Even if we do some editing and release it later, it's basically going to be a raw live, for the most part. Whereas we don't get too cut happy with our editing, but sometimes we'll cut some stuff out. But like that, for example.
Right.
Okay. As we were saying.
Yeah.
We don't get too cut happy, but we do cut out a few things, and it's pretty spontaneous kind of podcast. So
right,
but we will be probably more raw in that episode than usual.
Yeah,
and
I would say so.
Yeah, and you never know what kind of questions or topics are going to come up if you open the mic to 40 people or 50 people. I think people will show up in the crowd. So
yeah. Can get pretty hairy at times.
It's exciting.
Yeah, it is exciting.
On the edge a little bit.
Right. Yeah, it's going to be fun. And hopefully we'll get some really great interviews lined up. And,
I have a list of people that I would love to get on the podcast.
Right.
And when we started out, I said we wanted Brother Bernard on the podcast.
That was our end goal.
That's the end game.
Yeah.
So just a fair warning, Brother Bernard, if you're listening, don't schedule right away because I want this to go on for a few years. But be thinking about like the 2021 season or something.
Yeah.
Because I would love to have that interview happen, but I've got a feeling that there's nowhere to go after that.
Right. What do we do?
So unless we change our denomination or something, start interviewing. I don't know. We'll see.
James Dobson or something.
Right.
Yeah.
I do want to say the episode you're getting ready to listen to, hopefully here in just a few minutes, interview with Brother Carlton Coon. I did not expect him to respond, really.
Yeah.
And if he did, I thought, well, he'd just be a really gracious no thanks.
Right.
But he said yes.
Yeah.
And so far, nobody said no, actually.
Right. That's true.
Which is amazing to me. I mean, we've had, some authors on. Of course, Pastor Airwood. I've kind of assumed he would say yes, but Brother Aaron Airwood, Sister Lori Wagner, we've had
Nate Mackey.
Brother Nate Mackey. Yeah, we had some authors and pastors and things on. But Brother Coon was North American Missions Director for UPCI, right?
Right.
And so, I just assumed he would probably be a very gracious no.
Right.
But he agreed to it. And that was not just a win for us, but for you all too, because
it is a
really good episode.
Right. It's a great episode. We've been sitting on it for a while.
We have.
I feel kind of bad.
I've been kind of anxious, and and we had to touch base with him and let him know. Apologize first of all for holding it so long.
Yeah.
But then make sure he knows it's going out. And in the meantime, he started a podcast, so you should check that out for sure. And he's doing some stuff on YouTube. It just from this discussion, and I had met him before, I believe, but I don't think I'd ever really talked to him. Just a great, it's to me, from our discussion, great guy with a vision.
Right.
He gets the big picture.
Yeah.
And I was really impressed. So give us some feedback. Let us know. Let Brother Coon know on social media or wherever you can reach out to him. Let him know. We'll have some links and stuff where you can get in touch with him and his ministry and get some resources from him. But let him know that you appreciate him giving his time, and let us know what you think. I was really impressed. I'm hoping that you will be too, but let us know. We love your feedback. And if you have any ideas that you want to throw out there, we are always open to suggestions.
Yep. That'd be great.
Looking forward to season 2.
Right.
Of Two Pentecostals and a Microphone.
Amen. Thanks for joining us with this introductory episode of Two Pentecostals and a Microphone. Both Jared and I are very excited to be back for season 2. It's been a long time coming, and we're anxious to get going again on this. And we're super excited for our next episode. like we said, Brother Carlton Coon. It's a fantastic episode. I really, really hope that you enjoy it. I just want to thank all of our listeners and everyone who's patiently waited on new episodes and new content. I hope that we did not let down any of you guys, and I hope that you stuck around and watched for us. As always, we really appreciate all of your feedback, or any feedback at all, good or bad. It just helps us, and it helps us become a better podcast, and that's what we're trying to do. Both Jared and I treat this as a ministry and an opportunity to just not only share our thoughts and our opinions on faith, culture, and theology, and everything in between that goes with that. But we hope to just reach somebody. Somebody can listen to us and get a better grasp on who God is and what He does for us. And I really hope and pray that someone could be blessed by this podcast and be a joy to others. Thank you all for waiting so patiently for season 2, and I'm excited. Like we said in this episode, we have some very exciting things in store for all of you, and I really hope that you guys stick with us as we progress and move forward in 2019. Thanks again for listening, and thank you for sticking around. This is Two Pentecostals and a Microphone.